Hello, hello. Good afternoon, my learners. How is doing? I'm very nice. Welcome back to my new lesson. And I'm here with you today with new lesson. As all of you know, I always focus on GIS tutorials, even though I also have a lessons with Microsoft Excel and the likes. As usual, in our today's lesson, we will continue with some definitions and very important points in GIS, especially on the big deal about geoprocessing in GIS. This is very important point that everybody know about this thing. So, in our today's lesson, we are going to see what mean by geoprocessing. So let's start from the very beginning, the definition what mean by geoprocessing. This is very important for every step learners. We have to know first before going to use GIS software, especially on geoprocessing data. We have to know there are some criteria that every learner should know about these things. So what's geoprocessing? We have to know, we have to have these things knowledge about the geoprocessing before going to analysis, before going to do anything with GIS software. So let's go. Here, look, let's read together. Geoprocessing is the framework and a set of tools. What? As a framework and a set of tools for the processing geographic and related data. As this name indicates, geo is always talking about the earth related any types of information. So it repeats another word here, geographic and related data. So the comprehensive suite of the geoprocessing tools can be used to perform a spatial analysis or manage GIS data in automated way. This is the very important definition of geoprocessing. So in this slide or under this definition, there is two things which is very important. The first one is about processing geographic and related data. That means geoprocessing is a tool which is used to analysis geo-related data. What they are, we will see next. The next, let's see. So if we saw a typical geoprocessing tool perform an operation on a dataset such as feature class, raster or table and creates a resulting outputs dataset. Here there are very important points, names, words. Here for example, feature class. Feature class is especially for the beginners. Feature class is very important. What mean by feature class in GIS? What's raster? What's table? And the others was vector and the like. There are very key important points even didn't included in this 4 points that we will see in the next class. So we have to know first what's feature class, what's raster or what's table and the like. For example, buffer tool takes feature as input, create a buffer area around the feature to specify a distance and write those buffer areas to a new output data set. Buffering. You see? So let's see these things. What's feature class? Let's define with enough sentences meaningfully what's feature class. Look, feature class are homogeneous collections of common features. What? homogeneous collections of common features, each having the same spatial representation, such as point, line, or polygon, and a common set of attributes. Columns, for example, a line feature class for representing road center lines. What is the line? Among the point, polygon, area, and the like, the point is used for what? To represent the feature class for representing road center lines. So what's raster? The next, or bitmap. We can say raster or bitmap. Look, at the images are described by an array or map of bits with a rectangular grid of pixels or dots. This is the meaning of what? Raster or bitmap. So when we talk always about raster, we should also talk about vector. The vector images are described by the lines, shape, and other geographic image component stored in the format that incorporate geometric formula for rendering the image elements. Vector, we can also say the polygon shape files. The polygon shape files. These things are very important, especially what the difference between raster and vector. I had experienced many things, especially around the students. It's difficult for them to identify what the raster or bitmap and what the vector. Look, as this key point represents or defines raster as what? They described an array or map of bits within the rectangular grid of pixels, while vector is about the shapefile, polygon, and the like. Very good. Here, in GIS, the other thing, look, on the above slides, we said what? These key points are very important. So, before I start using GIS software, there are keywords, keys, things we have to know first. That is, what's a spatial data, what is geoprocessing, what's feature class, what's raster, what's vector, and what's table or attribute table. So the third one is, in GIS, the very important part is about attribute table. What is it? It's associated to the vector layer is the table that stores tabular information related to the layer. Look, it is a store, a place where our all GIS data is stored respectively with associate to the vector layer as a table that stores a tabular information related to the layer. So the column of the table are called fields and the rows are called records. Look, attribute table has two categories as a table. As everybody know, as you know, table has two parts, column part and the row part. The same is true for attribute table. The column part in GIS is called fields and the row part is called records. Each record of the attribute table corresponds to the feature geometry of the layer. Look, so attribute table is very important rather than everything, because when we analyze or geoprocess one data on GIS, we should have to have enough information under attribute table as row and column, unless our data, our information is empty. Empty data is used for nothing, as meaningless. So our processing is meaningless. We can't do nothing without this attribute table data. So attribute table is associated as a table where our data is stored as a layer on column and on the row. The column part is called field, while the row part is called record. Very nice. So each record of the attribute table corresponds to the feature geometry of the layer. Very nice. So what's the next? Let's see the next, which is very important point here. What's a spatial data? Geoprocessing is based on the spatial data. If geoprocessing or GIS platform is used geospatial data for geoprocessing as input, so this is very serious thing that everybody should know first before geoprocessing. What is geospatial data itself? What that? Here, a spatial data is a type of data that directly or indirectly reference a specific geographical area or location. Remember, a spatial data is any type of data that directly or indirectly references what? A specific geographical area or location. That's called the general definition of a spatial data. Very nice. Sometimes this spatial data also called geospatial data, or again geographic information data. You see, we called it in three names. One, a spatial data. Second, geospatial data. Third, geographic information data, which is always based on the geographical area or location. See, so a spatial data can also numerically represent the physical object in geographic coordinate system. The other key point in GIS and geospatial data or geographic information data, or in a spatial data, coordinate data, which means about the value of x, the value of y, and the value of z, which represent the elevation or the coordinate data x, y, z, the geometry, when we represent in numerical, geographically. So let's see graphically. Let's see graphically here. For example, data source. GIS data source or geoprocessing data source. Let's see this. For example, data source and the data layers. Street data or road data. Street data or road data. We can see here, as you see from this. This is, for example, as the model. This is the street data and the representation of the layer of data. Look, the green area or the blue area is showing us the route of the street. The second one is building data. This is the model of building data. Here, this is, for example, the building. This is around here, as you see, as the building. This is another building. This is the overview of the spatial data on the real ground. So this is then most of the time by the building data, most of the time by SketchUp software. The third one, vegetation data. Vegetation, forest, green area, and the like model. Look, the representation on GIS. Look, here is yellow and the green area. Yellow represent always the small vegetation on the area. The green represents the dense forest or the large trees on the field. The third one is the integrated of these three things. The integrated of these three things, that is the combination of these three things. For example, on one area, we can observe there is a road, there is a trees, there is a building, and the like. Even if a place where we live, almost on the residential area, everywhere, these three things are all together. For example, there is the road, there is the building, you see, there is the vegetation, and the like. This is the combination of them, which is written as the model, the combination or the integration of these things. So these all things called in single name geoprocessing in GIS. Geoprocessing. Dear learners, I hope so. In our today's lesson, I hope you had get something very special about what is geoprocessing in GIS. What are the main data in geoprocessing? The second point, what is geospatial in itself? What are the common three names of geospatial, or we can say interchangeably geospatial, or spatial data, or geographic information system? What they are? What's attribute table, especially in terms of column and the row? Under column, in attribute table, we call it field. Under the row, we can say the records. Without attribute table data, there is no data in GIS. We can't do nothing without attribute table data. Attribute table data is the data included about our input object we are going to geoprocess, or we are going to do anything, to perform anything. The other thing, every feature classes, which is very important word, feature classes, we can say everything we have seen by our naked eye around us is called feature name. Building is feature name, has its own feature name. Tree we can say feature, road is feature. Everything we have seen is called feature, but we can give name for them. Point feature, line feature, polygon feature, and the like. The other thing is about raster data and vector data. Raster data or bitmap is about the image represented by pixels, while vector data or shapefile or polygon data represented by polygon or shapes. The other thing we had seen under this in today's lesson is buffering. What's buffering? Buffering is a special analysis in GIS to protect one area from the other, to identify one area from the other. We can do buffering for the area. For example, on the mining area or on agriculture area, if you wanted to do a fence or protection of that thing from the other things, or to save from damage, we can construct a fence for one area, for mining area, for agriculture area. In simple way, we can say that one is buffering, determining the area included in the project site. So in our lesson, I hope really I'm very happy to teach you this, which is very special lesson. I thank you very much. So let me request you one thing at the end. Don't forget subscribing this channel. I have seen many users watch this video, but they didn't subscribe to it. Unless you subscribe to this YouTube never goes so far. Please subscribe to this channel to get the daily information, the update information. You have to subscribe to this channel. This channel is called Power of Education, which is my channel. Please subscribe to this channel. See you soon with the new lesson. Thank you very much. Share, like this video to other users. Thank you very much. Bye.